These are interesting times, to say the least. Spring is normally when a bunch of new products get released at Sea Otter Classic down in Monterey. But for obvious reasons, that won't be happening anytime soon. But that didn't stop a bunch of new products from getting released over the internet. However, there's a few products on my wish list that don't quite exist yet. So let's talk about 5 of them right now. If you follow my channel for a while, you already know that I really appreciate a quiet bike. Last year, I made a video showing the top 5 places to check for creaks on your mountain bike. And the first place to always check is the seat post. And if you think about what the seat post is designed to do and where it's placed, it's pretty obvious to see what the issue is. You see, virtually all seat post clamps use this tried and true double bolt design that's both simple and infinitely adjustable. The problem is it's right in the path of dirt and mud from that rear wheel. And like clockwork, I find myself taking the entire assembly apart, cleaning and greasing it every month or so just to keep it quiet. So I wish somebody would make a creak-proof dropper post assembly with either a shield of some sort or a closed design that's impervious to contamination. And to take it one step further, maybe even some grease ports so you can push in some fresh grease to the bolts every once in a while without having to take everything apart and messing up that perfectly dialed in saddle position. Sticking with the theme of quiet bikes, I'm obsessed with well-designed chainstay protectors that cut down on chain slap noise. And in fact, I won't even consider a bike frame that doesn't address this specifically from now on. But many of you know that I purchased a rubberized Mega Tower chainstay protector that just happened to fit my 4-year-old Yeti, and the difference it made on that bike was night and day. So that made me wonder why someone isn't making custom snap-on chainstay protectors for many popular mountain bikes. I know there's hundreds of DIY ways to do this, but to be honest, most of them don't look the best, and it seems like molded plastic with thin rubber shouldn't be too hard to make, and I'm pretty sure if it was priced reasonably enough, it'd be an impulse buy for a lot of people. Who doesn't love a perfectly dialed-in suspension? I was an early adopter of the Shah Quiz, which is an electronic gadget that attaches to the air hose of your fork and shock, and it collects data during your ride and suggests improvements to your suspension settings. Sounds awesome, right? But in the 3 years I've owned it, I've used it exactly 4 times. I'd love to use it more, but to be honest, the product is a bit awkward to use. First, you have to figure out where and how to mount it, which can be really difficult on some frames. Then you need to go through a setup process where it calculates your compression ratio. I always wondered, why not just integrate this technology inside the fork and shock to begin with? And because it's built inside the suspension, you can just tell it how many volume spacers you have without having to go through the entire calibration process. And because it's integrated, it's always collecting data, and maybe the app can send you a periodic push notification recommending some settings to improve your setup. And given how small the electronics is inside the housing, I can definitely see this one happening in the near future. One of my favorite features of the Mega Tower is the ability to adjust the chainstay length. This lets you fine-tune the balance between the front and rear end of your bike. 10mm might sound minuscule, but you'd be surprised how big a difference this feels behind the bars. Anyway, that got me thinking, why not incorporate this ability to the front of the bike as well? Yep, I'm talking about adjustable fork offsets via flip chip. Fork offsets are something people are talking about these days, so how cool would it be to have something adjustable that you can fine-tune yourself? Now, it turns out MV actually came out with this idea on their new rigid mountain bike fork, but I'd love for this to catch on with mainstream suspension products from Fox and RockShox. The last item isn't really a product, but an entire bike. The videos I made about upgrading my Schwinn hardtail have really blown up, and if anything, it tells me the market is ripe for a tweener mountain bike, something that bridges what's typically available at a big box store with something that you'll find at your local bike shop. I'm talking multiple sizes, through axles, air suspension, hydraulic disc brakes, and modern trail geometry with decent tires. If a company can figure out how to sell one for under $700 and make it available for someone to ride and buy at a local brick and mortar store, my goodness, that could be the Model T of mountain bikes. That's going to get a lot more people into the sport. More people on bikes means better trails, more service business for local bike shops, and just generally happier and healthier people. If only there was a company with the resources and dedication to cycling that could pull off such a loss leader. Yep, I'm looking at you, Viathon. So there you have it, 5 mountain bike products I wish existed. It'd be really fun to watch this video again in a few years and see if any of this stuff actually comes true. In the meantime, I'll just be sitting here dreaming of single track in a land far, far away. Thanks for watching, guys, and remember, those trails don't get easier, you get better. We'll see you on the next one.